Welcome to This Old Build, a series where we pick apart game systems to optimize for the best statistic of all, your enjoyment of the game. I'm your host, Subscribe at Science Monster. I hope you'll join us to try and make your old build a better build, or at least one you'll have more fun playing. This time on This Old Build, Outriders. So let's pretend that never happened. This time on This Old Build, Diablo 4, the Warlock. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I was just fighting Diablo solo on Torment 12. Welcome to my build video. I'm playing the Warlock, and this is my minion build. It's not top tier, it's not meta, but I think it's a lot of fun, and I wanted to show it off because I thought that maybe someone out there could, use it to try something new that maybe they are not looking at because they're only looking at the best stuff. But I'm doing pretty well here. I can do Torment 12 pretty well, so here we are. And here's my build. So I'm currently running a minion-based build with Legion Shard here with the Summon Agrum and the Spawn Fragment, so that Agrum makes little minions. And then the two key things about this is that I'm running Agrum Schism, which doubles the number of Agrums I have, and then therefore doubles the number of little minions I have. And then the next thing here is that I'm running Horizon's Chains. So every time I push the button for Agrum, all of my damage is increased by 200%, and all Soul Shard skills are reduced by 35%. It's not that big a deal, but the 200% damage is really what we're going for here. So let's go through it one by one here. I'll show you the gear first. So I'm running the Grandfather just for crit damage. Mostly this is a crit damage build, and as such we actually get like infinite wrath pretty much. So the way that this works here is that in combat I will pop Command Agrum, which does the damage thing, and pretty much like all I have to do for most trash mobs in most lower difficulties, or even just in T12, is just pop this, and then every time it comes back off cooldown, I just pop it again, just so I always have that damage buff coming in, right? Which is 10 seconds. You notice here that the cooldown here is 6.5, so it'll actually last longer. I don't actually have to pop it every time, but just like roughly every time I see it come up, pop it. Then I just spam Bombardment. I don't have a basic skill on my bar because I have so much wrath that I just don't know what to do with it all. So I just spam Bombardment, which is about 40% of my damage. The minions do the rest pretty much. If I hit crunchier things, I can pop Sigil of Summons, which has been modified to do more damage for my minions, and then I can also use my Profane Sentinel to provide Vulnerable, and it also weakens enemies, so that gives me a little extra damage resistance. And then I have Fiend of Abaddon, which will cause all my damage to be increased for my little lesser demon skills. And then we have Nether Step here, which is kind of our panic button. If something really goes wrong, I can hit this and just become immune and just, get out of danger. While we're looking at it here, there's Horizon's Chains, as I showed you earlier. I'm mostly running Demonology. If I could, I'd just probably run all Demonology skills, but I've got it kind of mixed up here with some Toughness. And I'm running Seed of Horizon there. You can see that. It's just extra damage because the Wrath is maxed out all the time. You can see our Toughness here is at about 1 million. I just like having a little bit more Toughness than... Toughness focus rather than damage focus, just so I can stick in it. So here we go. We've got Arrow Perdition, like pretty much everybody. You don't necessarily need this to get started. Like I said, you pretty much just need Agrum Schism and Horizon's Chains at a 5 set, and that'll get you going. But anything else you can throw on there is just kind of gravy. So we've got air petition for extra damage. We've got gloves that have a whole bunch of crit, and then we have imprint. You know, every time we kill 30 enemies or demons, we get more damage. Our bombardment pretty much triggers this all the time. Then we have here, because we're using the grandfather, where it's a two-handed weapon, so we get 40% DR from our imprint here. We're going for largely, you know, max life armor resistances from our pants, right? Wherever we can, we want to try and fit in some max life armor, stuff like that. Our boots are pretty much our sole source of movement speed, along with our hat. So, you know, also we have the casting a skill here, heals us. That's just good for keeping our, you know, hit points topped up, and we don't have to rely on potions so hard. I showed you the grandfather earlier. This is a reasonably good grandfather. If I could, I would have the transfigure that makes my gems do like 200% more stuff. But that's just kind of like entirely up to chance that you get that. Over here on the amulet, we've got here more crit chance, more crit multiplier, more crit damage. You'll see that a lot. My summons do more damage. Everything in my build is a summon, so that's just 100% more damage, pretty much. I deal more damage to unstoppable enemies. If I could, I would have the transfigure, the second thing there, the unstoppable damage. I would have that be the heal, and then I would have something else on my boots. Up to interpretation what that would be. And I've got Ring of Starless Skies. We're constantly spamming Bombard, so it's pretty good. It's also a source of crit chance and attack speed. It's nice. And then more attack speed, crit chance, crit molt, crit damage. And then attack speed for our summons. So, that's that. We have over here, I can show you specifically in the skill tree what we're doing. You can see again, no basic skill. Bombardment, one extra demon, focus target. We pretty much want to do more damage to single targets because those are the tankiest. If something survives our demon fodder, then, you know, we want to DPS it down. And then we've got here, this is a summon skill now. That's the most important part of that. There's another step. DR, while we have it on, it lasts longer. Immune, right? Then we have here Profane Sentinel, Narrow Blast, some more damage, causes vulnerable, uses your lesser demon skills to make enemies vulnerable. So that's actually all my minions that are causing vulnerable rather than the single individual beam. And then we have here weakening and extra damage, like 900. I can actually spam Demonic Sight or Profane Sentinel, and does a fair amount of damage that way too if I just like really want to burst something down. And then over here, Sigil of Summons, just like sometimes I get the Hellworm, but mostly it's just here for this, you know, enemies take 25% increased damage multiplier, right? And then here it's this Hellworm. And then we have Fiend of Abaddon and Vanguard of Flames, so it moves around with us, makes it a little easier to use. It also summons, yeah, no, it just does more damage. Makes our lesser demons deal more. That's the most important part of that. You can see here in the Paragon boards, what we've done here is we've chosen Ichor Carapace for our first one. That just gives us more armor and more demonology damage. We've got here Fathomless, right? So we summon demons like all the time because the little guys are dying because we're popping Command Agram, and so they pop up little guys. And then we have over here, we've got Demonologist, more damage for our Demonology skills, and then more damage with a Greater Demon Summon, which is all the time. Greater Hex, we apply Vulnerable or Weakened a lot, so this is just proccing all the time. We're basically working on getting all the way up here for this Glyph socket, so we can put in Death Aura. And then over here, we've got Demonics, whatever those spines. And then, so Demonology skills shred things, so we do more damage. And then over here, Wrath. So Wrath is where we're getting all of our, well, Wrath from. We do a bunch of extra crit damage with it. Everything we do, we have 100% crit in this build. We're actually at like 108%, so we can actually come down a little where, somewhere, but I haven't been able to find just the right amount of crit. But I'm happy to be overcapped. So yeah, more crit damage there. And then every time we crit, we generate 1 wrath, but that transfers over to our minions. So every time our minions crit, we generate 1 point of wrath, which just means that we have our wrath completely full against any target that's like a little bit tanky. And then we have Dominion, right? So spending Dominance to summon a demon, we can hit our Profane Sentinel, which is a summon. That's spending our Dominance. It says 0 right now, but that's just because I've got this 1/200 of your Lesser Demons die. Your next Greater Demon skill cast costs no Dominance. So if I hit this twice, that'll trigger Dominion, which means I'll do more damage. And then we have here Eldritch Sight, which is just more damage to vulnerable targets, and that's pretty much all the time as well. So you can kind of just see it's just like layers upon layers of stacking damage. And then for Mercenaries, just show that off here. We've got Subo. We've got more crit damage from Subo. I use him as my main just because when I'm soloing, I get to see all the enemies on the screen. The resource nodes is just kind of nice. And then I've got, for reinforcement, I've got Aldkin. And then when I cast Command Agram, it desiccates the area, reducing damage and slowing them. So, yeah, it's pretty fun to run build. I'm going to show you just a little bit of what it's like in action. You can do pretty much whatever you want with these trees here. I'll show you real quickly. You can take a pause here on each screen, and you can see which ones I've done. And you can see here, like, rats, the big chest. Undercity, I preferred the initiative. Lair bosses, I just hope to get a Nemesis Lair thing. Infernal Hordes, and there's the pit. And I've got Choron's Flesh. I don't know how to pronounce that. Choron's. And we've got just like extra glyph chances. And then Artificer Stones, because we had to pick something. Alrighty, so next up I'll show you just a little bit of how this plays, and that's basically it. Oh, by the way, I'm using Naguse, which is the maintain summons and make wolves, and then I've got Cirque, which is to cast 5 skills and become exhausted for a bit for Earth and Bulwark. So I have unlocked tier 115 on the pit. I know that's not 150, but this isn't a top tier build. I've done a 110, but I'm just going to show you a 105. Just because we're showing off what we can do, not necessarily how hard we can do it. We're not going to be here for 15 minutes. So, here we go. Into action. Pop Agram. Start spamming. Drop my sigil here, zap them with the laser, and you can see here that we're effective. It's not super fast, but it gets the job done. We complete this pit on time. You can see that we're actually ahead of the timer here. Yeah, if I had like even better, gear, I could probably do this faster. But the main thing is that, look. All my minions are doing the thing. I'm not being attacked. Pretty casual. Pop Agram, laser, sigil. But pretty much I only really need to do Agram and Bombard. Yeah. So that's my build video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you in the next one. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them below, and I'll try to reply to them if it's appropriate and I have time. Anyhow, take care, and peace. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This video originally started 5 years ago, which is why you saw the false start for Outriders. RIP Outriders. But hey, maybe I'll continue this series in the future with more games. Speaking of, the following games were featured in this video: Deep Rock Galactic, Monster Train, Islanders, Hades, Slay the Spire, Remnant from the Ashes, Valheim, Outriders, and Diablo 4. The intro music was Monplaisir's I'm Glad You're Here. The music you hear now is Barbara, as played by the US Army Blues, both used in the public domain. This video is brought to you by Ennui. Is happiness too joyful? Does satisfaction feel too fulfilling? Have you ever wished you just kind of felt bad but not too bad? Well, Ennui is here for you. To use our fine product, just clear your mind and let the brain do its own thing. That's Ennui. Remember our motto, yes, Ennui can.